So, yesterday we had the Little Dick Brigade, the Britain First March. Now, I've said 100 times over, Britain First is one of the most anti-British groups you can think of. If you were pro-Britain, if you cared about this country, if you were any kind of patriot, you would look to see what actually benefits a country. Immigration benefits country. These people don't care if you're here legally, they don't care if you're here illegally. They care if you're white. Britain First recently have also been going into hotels along the coast, Dover and Deal included, looking to harass asylum seekers who are in these hotels. If you're the kind of person who supports that, you're a bit of a cock. So as I've said before on this channel, and I'll say it again, the way that, excuse the noise, the way that asylum seekers, the process begins to work in this country. They land. They are taken because they are asylum seekers. They're not illegal immigrants, they are asylum seekers. They need to go to the authorities. At that point, they're taken to a process centre, which is a very nice way of saying something that's akin to a prison. There, they're interviewed. Well, sometimes they're interviewed beforehand, but usually speaking, they're interviewed. The claim for asylum is processed. Very few of them actually get asylum. If they don't get it, they're thrown back. If they do get it, they then have a very, very strict life that they have to live by. For example, they get a little card with their payments, and if they buy something that's not on a pre-approved list, their card essentially is deactivated. Now, the most bigoted dickhead can think, okay, well, you know, it's not pre-approved. It's not pre-approved. You know, if you need to buy nappies, you can't go out and buy a bottle of whiskey. No, see, it has to be a pre-approved brand of nappies. So they can buy nappies, the only nappies that are available in the shop, or might be available in the shop, but it won't be on the list. And that's enough to have the card suspended. It's not exactly a life of luxury. And when it comes to immigration, it's a whole different set of rules. But Britain First have been empowered by this racist government. Boris Johnson is a racist. There have been too many accounts to even start arguing against that. So what happened in Dover, now that we're over 3 minutes in? Well, there were 3 protests. We had a protest around the train station, we had a protest on the beach, or around the beach, and we had the protest in the High Street. Now the one in the High Street was the anti-Britain First protests. These are the ones who are not, usually they turn out in greater number, but these are the ones who just tried to reassure the shop owners who had to shut shop all Saturday afternoon, because when they haven't shut shop in the past, they've had their shops damaged, windows smashed by Britain First dickheads. Again, same type of people who will scream adamantly, oh, the immigrants are taking our jobs. All they do is come here and sponge off of people. It's one or the other, mate. And I've seen most of these Britain First dickhead supporters in factory and not last a single shift. Your job's not being stolen, you just don't want to fucking do it. Anyway, the one in the High Street disappeared fairly quickly. There was a lot of police out. There was a lot of police around the train station. I didn't see as many along the beach, along the seafront, but they were still there, and the one along the seafront was a lot rowdier. Probably because there wasn't as many police. But you'd still see the same dickheads with the Trump hats. And why? Why? I mean, if you support Trump, I get it, glass houses, because there are foreign politicians that I like, but if you're going to go to that length, like, you're not going to see me wearing a Bernie Sanders hat. Because what's the point? I mean, you're not going to see me wearing a Labour hat. But to be that kind of support, surely you'd want to be in America and not just have the bargain bucket knockoff American merch that we've got in number 10. Hey ho. The main point of this is nothing massively happened. Again, because the shop's shut, there was a lot of police, but there were a lot of people. Certainly over 30 people. So I'm assuming that the organisers of this march will get that £10,000 fine that Piers Corbyn got. Now again, I agree that Piers Corbyn should have got that fine. But by the same brush, so should the organisers of the march. But what actually inspires it? For me, that's more interesting, because while you had Natalie Elfrich, the MP for Dover and Deal, saying that she didn't really want people to go out and march because it wasn't really safe. And in fact, in a tweet 15 hours from time of recording this video, 15 hours ago, more people were out and about enjoying our area's lovely beaches than joining the political protests in Dover today. I'm grateful that many hundreds of expected protesters on both sides heeded my call to stay away. Problem is, you scroll down and the next tweet, this is an image, this is, either I'll be able to download it or I'll have to screenshot it, but this is the image from Natalie's Twitter feed. People are rightly angry about the number of people breaking into Britain in small boats. This is completely unacceptable. Well, let's zoom in on this issue. What do we got here? We've got maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'd say between 10 and 12 on this particular photo. 10 and 12 that might be asylum seekers. The rest are obviously lifeboats or police. Now, I am not angered by that at all. I don't know, it's weird. Maybe I'm just too far left, but I'm more enraged that the government refused to take part of the procurement scheme to get PPE, and as a result 400 to 500 of my colleagues who work in care are now dead. I am more outraged that there was a Tory MP accused of rape who was protected. I am more outraged that there is a Tory MP who blatantly stated, yes, I took your money, and nothing was done about it. I'm more outraged that the Home Secretary has stated that she'd ideally like to round people up and just throw them into another country. I'm more outraged that this government is destroying the NHS while saying, hey, we got you, as they put the knife in the back of our skulls. That's what I'm pissed off about. Not a handful of people who've tried to get here on a boat seeking asylum because it's too damn dangerous where they live. Hey, maybe that's just me.